And at this point, I do want to bring in Republican Congressman Tom Cole of Oklahoma. He is the ranking member of the House Rules Committee. Hi, Congressman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I want to talk trade, but before we get to that, let's talk impeachment. The House voted along party lines, of course, to advance those articles of impeachment to the Senate after House Speaker Pelosi confirmed her managers for the trial. What is your reaction? Are you anticipating a fair trial?
Yeah, I think there'll be a fair trial finally in the United States Senate. I think the process in the House has been extraordinarily unfair. We didn't follow what had been done for Presidents Clinton and Nixon in the House. Instead, the House Democrats came up with an entirely new system, gave us 24-hour notice. And, for instance, as I'm sure your viewers noticed, the President was unrepresented in the principal committee of impeachment, which was the Select Committee on Intelligence. He did not have the right to have a lawyer, cross-examine anybody, introduce exculpatory evidence. So the whole effort on the House side was rushed, partisan, I think very unfair. And then we were told we had to finish by Christmas, and instead we were then given a 4-week wait before the articles finally come over there, where the Speaker is trying to continue to politicize it. I think once it's in the Senate, frankly, I have a lot of faith in Mitch McConnell, the Republican majority over there. They'll listen to the evidence. They've made that clear, the case on both sides. Then they'll decide whether or not they need additional witnesses, make that decision. But I think they'll move through it pretty expeditiously, and I'm quite certain that the President will remain in office. He'll be acquitted.
And as we know, yeah, the upper chamber does have the ball in its court now. Senate Democrats, though, they are pushing for witnesses to be subpoenaed during the trial. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell suggesting just yesterday that there will be an opportunity to call for new testimony. Are you open to more witness testimony from the likes of perhaps someone like John Bolton or Mick Mulvaney?
It's not a decision that I get to make. I'm not a member of the United States Senate, so I'll let them sort through that as to whether they need it. It's interesting to me the Democrats are calling for more witnesses, because the line here in the House was, we don't need any more witnesses. The case is so obvious, so slam dunk, that we can move precipitously. We don't have to go to court to see whether or not our subpoenas against these witnesses can withstand the President's exertion of executive privilege. So over here, they didn't feel the need for them. It's funny to me now they feel the need for them in the United States Senate. But again, let's give the Senate its due. They'll listen to the case that the prosecution makes, and the Speaker announced those members, that 7-member team. They'll listen to the President's defense. Then they'll decide if they need more witnesses. I'll trust them with that decision. But look, we all know how this is going to end. There's simply not the votes in the United States Senate to remove the President of the United States. So you can only draw the conclusion the Democrats are subjecting the country to this kind of turmoil and division, with no possible hope of removing him, but with probably the aim of damaging him before the next election. I think today was a perfect juxtaposition of events. The President's focused on the business of America. He's signing a very important trade arrangement with the Chinese. The Democrats are focused on trying to remove a very effective president from office. So I think it's a very sad day in that regard, but obviously the President's still out there performing for the American people.
Right, and impeachment aside, I do want to get your take on some trade developments. The House, of course, did pass the USMCA about a month ago, a day after the House passed the articles, the resolution to impeach the President. It looks like the Senate's very close to voting on USMCA. Perhaps today we might even see a vote on that. Do you believe that the benefits of this NAFTA replacement, though, will they outweigh any lingering concerns that some lawmakers have? Some Democrats feel that it maybe doesn't go far enough to protect our workers.
Well, I don't think there's any question they'll outweigh it. Look, this is a big victory for the President and a big victory for the American people. As important as China is, and it's extraordinarily important, the fact is we trade more with Canada and Mexico than we do with China. This is those two countries take about 40% of our exports. They're very important markets for the United States. I live and represent an agricultural district. Both those markets are extremely important to us. So we're very happy to see our trade relationship put put on firmer footing. We think it's going to, we know, the study suggests, it's going to create 175,000 new jobs in our country, somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 billion plus of new economic activity. So this is a good deal for the country. The president ought to be congratulated for negotiating it. And it really, I think probably strengthens his hand going forward in his continuing negotiations with China. So this is a president that I think we see delivering. And today the news is very good on the China agreement. So I'm very optimistic looking forward that these trade agreements will continue to contribute to the prosperity our country enjoys.
All right. Well, there's certainly a lot happening on Capitol Hill, and we do appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Congressman.
That's true. Thank you.
Thank you.